Hey guys, we've got the Lenovo X1 Carbon 6 and 7 here with us today. This is just a quick look, and at the main difference is what the unique selling point of each might be. Okay, one of the first difference is on the new model you'll notice the speaker grills on near the top. So as you can see, it's quite pronounced, and the power button has been moved to the side as a result. And was it worth it? And well, when I first heard this laptop across the room playing, I was just really amazed. It was a ThinkPad, and I honestly thought it was an XPS or something else playing music. It's really fantastic to see this on a business laptop. It fixes one of the biggest, I think, areas of improvement from the previous generation. Okay, so between these two, what are different? I mean, configuration-wise, they're all Core i7, 16 gig, and 512 SSD. So if you can see this display, you can probably already see from the YouTube that this one has more reflection. That's because this is Dolby Vision HDR display, so it's high-end option for the 6th gen. This one is a regular 2K display, which is same resolution, but it's a full HD. Well, it's the IPS version, so it's less bright, but it's a matte finish. Obviously, on the new 7, you can get 4K version of that display, so it looks to be very delicious. But one of the caveat, I mean, some of the people online seem to have noticed, is that the 4K usually when it appears on a Windows laptop means sometimes less battery. So I guess that's something to think about. What would be really interesting is if there was a 1440p option on the new 7, but when I looked, I think as far as I know, there wasn't one at the moment. I mean, that would be really nice. That would be a quite good middle point between portability and battery. Well, display quality and battery. Okay, so if we can just quickly close the lid, or just look at the exterior. What we actually have is this is probably will confuse you. So we'll just quickly get a ThinkPad X1 Carbon 5, 5 on top and 7 on top again. So just look at I'll hold it steady here. So some of the ports have changed, mainly just the docking on the newest 6 and 7. And on the 7, the audio port has reverse position to this side. So as you can see, because of, I think it's probably partly because on the 7 the power button is here, has been moved to the side, so the audio port had to be moved as well. But on the, if I may put the 5 aside for now, here we go. So what we can notice is actually the fan has got a little bit marginally larger on the 7, which is quite useful. And now to use this USB port, you don't have to put your hand over the fan, so I think that's quite a sort of nice change. Some people might feel otherwise. Still very easy to leave fingerprint mark on the new 7 as well. I mean, I just held it and you can already see it slightly. Material-wise, it's very similar. On the 7, you can finally have the, I think, carbon fiber. This is brilliant because they're so similar. I actually reversed positions. I didn't realize which one was which. You can really notice by the speaker grill. That was embarrassing, sorry. Okay, so going back to it, in terms of the basic design, so it's, as you can see, a slight improvement in the privacy shutter. It's a little bit easier to use. It's not as easy to use as the HP one, but perhaps part of the reason is they don't want it to be in the way of you using it. Bezel thinner than the, well, it's probably similar. It's thinner probably than the more common P series or something similar, but it's probably slightly thicker than XPS 13 and the other laptops in this sector. Keypad travel. It feels a little bit narrower, the keypad travel on this one. I mean, the keypad on ThinkPad are almost always delightful to use, and also I think just to be thin and lighter, perhaps the trackpad has a little bit different feel. It's slightly unusual feel. I mean, I'm really used to the old feel, but I think the new one, it's a little bit it's a little bit more clicky and the travel is a little bit thinner, and trackpad is usually reliable. Trackpad, it seems so far from having a brief play. There we go, apologies. There we go. Right, if we can, I will think, there was one other thing, which is, I'm not sure if you can notice, on the new model, there is, let me just quickly fold it down and I'll quickly show you. There's four gaps for the mic, which is it's interesting. It's because if you think of the edge, that's where laptop usually gets scratched, where the sort of dirt from the bag go in, but hopefully it doesn't go in too much. Perhaps we can only find out maybe 6 months from now. Obviously it's great to have more mic. We can open it up, and here's a quick test if we can easily open it. Yeah, it's as expected. I managed to reverse the position again because they look so similar. Apologies. But what was quite visible there is that with the neither of them are really that easy to open with one hand, but as you can see, it's really quite a bit harder to open the 6 with just one hand. I think it's one of those improvements across the generation that apply to quite a lot of laptops in this particular generation. It's quite welcomed. Battery size a little bit smaller on the new model, but it's still got the rapid charge. And okay, so in terms of who is it for? I mean, people who buy the X1 tend to really value premium portability and the quality, so having this display option is going to be quite useful. And also, if you think of something, if you're deploying machines for your staff, then over 3 years, deploying better system, let's say X1 instead of lower end ThinkPad L series, I mean, they'll definitely feel the difference. What if you were to get one today? I mean, you'll probably be pricing a 7th gen i5 model versus a quite high-end refurbed 6th gen. I mean, what you value is up to you, but I think some people might value the older generation. They can probably forego the speaker improvement, but get the equally robust machine with the support from Lenovo remaining still. And I think with either Lenovo or XPS, whichever option you choose, as long as you choose it with sufficiently long manufacturer warranty, it's going to be quite robust and have very little to worry about in terms of peace of mind, generally speaking. But today, if value for money is not really that much of an issue, or if you're getting it for 3-4 years of usage, then spending the money on the 7 probably is quite a sensible choice. I mean, obviously, it's if you're coming from, if you already got a 6 and if you already got, if you already have the Dolby Vision display, going to 7, you probably get the speaker improvement, a few other things, but it's maybe you have other things to spend money on. Whereas if you're coming from the older, let's say X1 Carbon 5, I mean, this one is still dual-core, it's really starting to show its age, then the 7 would definitely be a step forward. And I think on the 7, it's still easy to leave the fingerprint, so I'm not going to try, but I mean, just put it in a laptop case and I think it's quite easy to take care of. Not much to worry about. Anyway, it's just a quick video. Hopefully you found it useful, and any question, just drop us a message. We'll be here to give a reply. Thanks.